Welcome to another English class, Learning English Without Translation. My name is Felipe Andre. I'm the founder of the Fluency School, a fluency program for adults where you learn to speak English like a native and you learn by learning like children. Because if you want to speak English like a native, you have to learn like a child. Again, if you want to someday be able to speak English like a native speaker, and to a native speaker, you have got to learn English like a child. To speak like a native, I have to learn like a child. No grammar rules, no translation, no tables, no boring drillings. Children learn through stories. Children learn listening to interesting stories. And that is why I do the classes, Learning English Without Translation, with the story of Ayrton Senna right now. This is the one we are doing right now, Learning English Without Translation with the story of Ayrton Senna. If you are listening to me on Spotify and you want to watch the complete class, you want to watch, to see the slides, images, notes, videos, go to my YouTube channel. That's Felipe Andre Inglês, Felipe Andre Inglês on YouTube. If you are watching me on YouTube and you want to master the class, you want to improve, you want to memorize, you want to really get a grasp of the class, listen to the class on my Spotify. After I do the class on YouTube, the same class goes to my Spotify channel, Felipe Andre Inglês on Spotify. So you can listen to the class in your car, in the Uber, okay? On the subway, okay? Going to work, maybe exercising. And finally, if you want to have access to the slide, the images, and the notes, you have to subscribe to my Telegram VIP group. It's free. You do not have to pay for that. It's totally free. Okay? And at the end of the class, the link for my Telegram VIP group is going to be in the description, okay, of YouTube and Spotify too. Okay? By the way, have you already subscribed to my YouTube channel? And have you already liked this class? If not, do that now. Okay? When you subscribe, every new class that I do, you'll receive automatically. There's going to be a notification for you. Felipe Andre has released a new class. Bing! So it's easier. Okay? And when you like the class, you are helping us to take this class to more people. So, subscribe and like the class now. Do that now. Let's continue. So, my coffee, as always. After 10 years as a Formula One driver, the San Marino Grand Prix was a race that Ayrton Senna knew very well. He was very experienced in that race. It was 1994. And he was hoping, believing, planning, expecting. Okay? He was, let me find it here. Yes. He was planning, intending, hoping, expecting, believing to win the San Marino Grand Prix for the 4th time. Because in that morning, at the beginning of the race, Ayrton Senna had already been the winner of the San Marino Grand Prix 3 other times. In that morning, he was hoping, planning, believing, expecting to win the San Marino Grand Prix for the 4th time. On that course, on that track, course track, okay? Track, course. San Marino Grand Prix, San Marino track, San Marino course. But on the 7th lap, his car left the track. On the 7th lap, his car left the track and crashed into a wall. Senna was dead. Millions of people were watching the race on TV on that terrible day when Formula One lost its biggest, greatest, best, most important driver at that time. When Ayrton Senna died at the age of 34, he was one of the most exciting, interesting, entertaining, energized, and popular, famous drivers in Formula One. He was the winner of 41 Grand Prix races. Isso daqui eu tô passando assim batido porque isso daqui foi a aula 1 e esse daqui a 2, tá? Então, eu tô fazendo para quem já assistiu a 1 e a 2, né? Se você não assistiu essa aula e essa aula, YouTube e Spotify, ok? Expliquei direitinho e etc. Com o método pá. He was the winner of 41 Grand Prix races and 3 World Championships. He always drove, he was the winner for 41 races and 3 World Championships. He always drove fast on a dry track, but he was invincible, undefeatable, unbeatable when it was wet, when it was raining, water. Ok? Remember? Mandei lá no Telegram Mandei lá no Telegram. Dry clothes, wet clothes. Na verdade, eu acabei de ver que eu esqueci de mandar. Vou mandar agora, ó. Track. Deixa eu ver como é que eu te mostro isso aqui agora. Ah, tá. Vou botar aqui, ó. Se eu colocar aqui, você vê automaticamente. Track. Ok? Track. Wet. Weather. Wet. The weather is wet. It's raining. It's raining. Wet clothes. Wet clothes. Wet clothes. Washing clothes. Washing clothes. Washing clothes again. Washing clothes again. Again. Washer and dryer machine. Washer and dryer machine. Drying clothes. Okay, so wet clothes, drying clothes. Okay? Wet weather, the weather is wet. Cadê o dry weather? Dry weather eu não baixei ontem. Vamos lá. Dry weather. Dry weather. Dry weather. Dry weather. Okay? Wet weather versus dry weather. Ok? E aí eu vou encaminhar agora no Telegram. Estou encaminhando agora aqui porque eu esqueci ontem. Se você não está no Telegram, eu falei no começo da aula, vou repetir. No final da aula vai ter um link para o meu grupo VIP do Telegram, é gratuito. E lá eu posto as anotações e os slides, tá? Estou enviando agora aqui, ó, todas as imagens que eu acabei de mostrar. Beleza? So, he was undisputed, undefeatable, unbeatable when it was wet, when it was raining, when there was water on the track. When there was water on the track. For many people, he was the greatest driver that ever lived. And in his homeland, Brazil, he was more than a driver. He was a man who brought hope to his people. He was a person that Senna brought hope to his people. Mesma coisa que dizer que Senna caused Brazilians to feel better, to believe in a better tomorrow. He cheered Brazilians up. he was a motive for joy. Okay? He made us happy on Sundays. Yes. Or in Sundays mornings. Mornings. Okay? He brought hope. The opposite of despair. Desperate. Opposite. Opposite. Okay? He brought hope to his people. Teacher, how can I say esperança in English? Yes, yes. Tradução da confirmação. Não se aprende por tradução, se confirma com tradução, se você realmente entendeu. Só isso. Ok? Yes, 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 yes. So, oops, sorry. Sorry, just a minute. Yes, so let's continue. Next paragraph. Ayrton Senna da Silva was born on March the 21st, 1960, in the city of São Paulo, Brazil. Who was born on March 21st, 1960? Who? Felipe, Jessica, who? Senna. When was, so let's practice a little bit of who, when, where. Who was born on March 21st, 1960? Senna. Senna. When was Senna born? On March 21st, 1960. Where was Ayrton Senna born? São Paulo. Who talks about people? Names. When talks about dates, time. Where talks about location. Who was born on March 21st? Senna. When was Senna born? On March 21st, 1960. Where was he born? In the city of São Paulo. He was the middle child in the family. So, his sister Viviane, he was born in 1960. He was the middle child of the family. There were two siblings, Viviane and Leonardo. Brothers and sisters equals siblings. Senna had two siblings, Viviane and Leonardo. And it was like this: Leonardo, then Senna, na verdade, depende por ordem de idade ou por ordem de nascência, tá? Viviane. Leonardo. Viviane, was 2 years older than Senna, and his brother Leonardo was a few years younger. Então, suponhamos. If Leonardo was 1 year old, okay, Senna would be 4 years old. Viviane would be 6 years old. Because Leonardo was a few years younger, Viviane was 2 years older than Senna. Another example. When Leonardo became 5 years old, Senna became 8. Viviane became 11 years old. Oops, 10 years old. Because she was 2 years older than Senna. Que é a mesma coisa que dizer que Senna was 2 years younger than Senna was 2 years younger than Viviane. Outro exemplo. Lá na festa de 15 anos da Viviane, how old was Senna? She was 2 years older than Senna. He was 2 years younger than Viviane. When Viviane became 15 years old, lá na festa de 15 anos dela, Senna was 13. Oops. And Leonardo was about 10 years old. Outro ponto de referência, um outro exemplo. 1984, the year that Senna started racing. 1984. Senna he was born in 1960. When he started racing in 1984, he was 24 years old. When Senna started racing, how old was Viviane? Well, she was 2 years older than Senna. She was 26. And how old was Leonardo? He was a few years, 3, younger than Senna. If Senna was 24, Leonardo was 21 years old. Okay? And finally, one last example. The year that Ayrton Senna died, 1994. He was 34 when he died. The year Senna died, he was 34. How old was Leonardo? He was 3 years younger. He was 31. How old was Viviane when Senna died? She was 2 years older. She was 36 years old. When? 1994, 1984, and 1973. Okay? Let's continue. They called him Bico. They called him Bico. They, Senna's family, the family of Ayrton Senna. They called him Senna Bico. Bico was Senna's nickname. So, every time Senna's family, when they wanted to talk to Senna, when they wanted to speak to Senna, when they wanted to address, approach, talk to Senna, speak to Senna, they would not say, Senna, come here. Ayrton, come here. They use the word Bico. Bico, come here. Bico, where are you? They called him Bico. It was his nickname. Se você não sabe, to be called means my name is. Quando as pessoas querem falar comigo, não só ligar, falar. When people want to talk to me, address me, speak to me, they use the word my name is. So, I am Felipe. I am called Felipe. That is, Felipe is the word people use when they want to talk to me. They call Felipe. Na verdade, daqui, desse sentido original, né? Qual é a palavra que as pessoas usam quando eles querem falar comigo, se comunicar comigo? Daqui que vem a ideia de usar call para telephone, né? De você tentar conectar-se com alguém. To call somebody. To call somebody. Call, que a gente usa para telefone, vem desta essência. Isso aqui vem muito antes de existir telefone. I am calling Felipe. I am trying to talk to Felipe. Antes era Felipe, Felipe, come here. Now I can call Felipe. Okay? To be called means my name is. Ok? Tanto que se você for para os Estados Unidos e ligar para alguém e estiver desligado, vai aparecer assim a mensagem. The number you're trying to reach is out of service or disconnected at this time. Please try again later. Or please leave a message. The telephone you are trying to reach, to connect, to talk, to communicate, to reach, pegar, alcançar. The number you are trying to reach is out of service, is disconnected at this time. Please leave a message. Okay? They called him Bico. There were many millions of very poor Brazilians. No money. But the da Silvas were rich. The da Silvas, Sena's family. They were not poor. They were rich. A lot of money. Bico's father, Sena's father, the father of Sena, Milton, owned a business that had 1,000 workers. It made car parts. It made car parts and sold soft drinks. It made car parts. It sold soft drinks. Então, eu acho que eu já tenho essa anotação pronta aqui. Achei. Aqui, ó. Yes. They made, né? Quando fala Bico's father, Sena's father, the father of Sena, ok? Milton owned, possessed, was the proprietor. Milton had. A business. The business. Milton's. Aqui, ó, de novo no texto, ó. Aqui, ó. Aqui, quer ver? Aqui, ó. Bem aqui, onde está meu dedo, ó. Milton owned the business. Milton had, possessed, was the proprietor. Had a business. Milton's business had 1,000 workers. And they made, they created, they produced, they manufactured car parts, and they sold, past of to sell, soft drinks. His business had 1,000 people, 1,000 workers. Milton had 1,000 people working for him in his business. Milton had 1,000 people working for him in his business. And he also owned. Milton da Silva also owned a lot of land. he had, he possessed, he was the proprietor of a lot of land. 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 Ok? Então, de novo. Biko's father, Senna's father, the father of Senna, Milton, he owned, he possessed, he was the proprietor, he had a business. It had 1,000 workers. The business, Milton's business, had... Eu posso simplesmente dizer, it had 1,000 workers. Milton's business had 1,000 workers, para não repetir tudo. Este é o sentido do pronome. Não, ao invés de eu dizer, repetir tudo de novo, Milton's business, eu só boto it had 1,000 workers. Milton's business. Pelo contexto tá claro. They made, they created, they manufactured car parts, and they sold, best of to sell, they sold soft drinks. Se você não sabe o que é sell, Apple sells iPhones, MacBooks, and Apple Watches. Honda sells cars and motorcycles. Ok? Supermarkets sell food and cleaning products. Samsung sells phones, watches, TVs. Ok? Lacoste, Nike, Adidas, Gucci, Dolce & Gabbana, Hugo Boss, they sell clothes. Okay? Teacher, how can I say vender in English? Yeah. So, Milton's business had 1,000 workers. Okay? Milton's business had 1,000 workers. So Milton had 1,000 people working for him. They created, they produced, they made, they manufactured car parts, and they sold soft drinks. And he, Milton, Senna's father, he also owned, he also had, possessed, he also was the proprietor of a lot of land. A lot of land. Okay? The family lived in a big house and they had a very comfortable life. By the age of 3, Biko had a little car. By the age of 3, Biko had a little car. Eu acho que eu me adiantei nessa imagem. Ele tinha só um little car de criança. Mas he loved it, the little car, so much that his father built him. His father made him. His father constructed to him. His father created, made, did, built, constructed a go-kart to Senna for his 4th birthday. Okay? So, when Senna was 3 years old, he had a little car, carrinho de criança normal, but he loved the little car. He loved it very, very much. Actually, Senna loved the car, the little car, so much that when Senna became 4 years old on his 4th birthday, his father gave him, his father built, made, constructed, and gave Senna a go-kart in 1964 when he turned 4 years old. The little boy, Ayrton Senna, spent all his time on the go-kart, and he could control the go-kart very well. He could control the go-kart very well. He spent all his time on the go-kart that he received when he was 4 years old. When Senna became 4 years old, he got a birthday gift, a birthday present from his father. It was a go-kart. Feito pelo próprio pai. O pai dele tinha uma empresa, né? Tinha uma empresa que fazia peças de carro. O pai dele foi lá e construiu, deu para ele when he was 4 years old. E aí o que aconteceu? Senna, the little boy, spent all his time on the go-kart, and he could control it very well. He had the ability to control the kart He had the ability to control the kart. He could control it very well. Bickel, última frase lá embaixo. Senna started dreaming of a future as a racing driver. É onde nós vamos continuar amanhã. E acredite se quiser, eu não sabia disso. Você vai descobrir nessa história. O Senna quase nunca virou piloto de Fórmula 1. Teve uma reviravolta na história, na vida dele. E basicamente, ele quase nunca se tornou um piloto de Fórmula 1. Você vai descobrir isso nas cenas dos próximos capítulos. Hoje nós vamos ficar por aqui. Lembra você, primeiro, já se inscreveu e já curtiu a aula? Se não fez isso, faça isso agora. Agora, se inscreve e curte esta aula. Segundo, se você está me assistindo pelo YouTube, para você masterizar essa aula, tem duas coisas que você precisa fazer. A primeira delas, ouvi-la lá no Spotify. Então, lá no Spotify, geralmente um dia depois da aula ser feita, né? Eu faço ela ao vivo. Geralmente um dia depois ela é postada no meu Spotify, Felipe André Inglês. Spotify. Segundo, tem um... Peraí, eu vou te mostrar isso aqui, ó. Tem um aplicativo que é exclusivo dos meus alunos, tá? Exclusivo dos meus alunos, do meu programa fechado de fluência para adultos chamado Escola da Fluência. Mas para quem está participando deste aquecimento oficial, Aprendendo Inglês sem Traduzir com Cena, que é o aquecimento oficial para o documentário dos 5% fluentes que eu vou fazer de 4 a 10 de outubro, aonde eu vou desmistificar de vez as 5 mentiras sobre fluência em inglês. Fluência é para quem tem jeito ou aptidão. É para quem faz intercâmbio no exterior, é para quem começou a estudar como criança, para quem já é intermediário ou avançado ou para quem tem tempo demais para estudar. Eu vou desmistificar em definitivo essas 5 mentiras e vou te mostrar o passo a passo completo e exato para você se tornar fluente em inglês. 4 a 10 de abril. E nós estamos tendo um aquecimento oficial para esse documentário, que é o intensivo Aprendendo Inglês sem Traduzir com Ayrton Senna. E para quem está neste aquecimento oficial, cadastrado e confirmado para o documentário, eu dei 15 dias de acesso exclusivo a esse aplicativo, aonde você vai poder ouvir áudios, tá? E fazer atividades. Você vai poder ouvir áudios e fazer atividades. Já tem 2 aulas cadastradas, beleza? Você vai poder ouvir áudios e fazer atividades sobre o intensivo do Ayrton Senna. É um presentaço para você ter até 6 meses de progresso em 15 aulas. Aprendendo Inglês sem Traduzir com Ayrton Senna. Já tem 2 aulas liberadas. Assim que eu terminar essa live, a terceira vai estar liberada, tá? Ok? Beleza? Fechou? Então, 2 coisas para quem quer maximizar o seu progresso. Terminou de assistir a aula? Ouve ela de novo no Spotify. Faz as atividades. Como é que faz para acessar isso aqui, né? Quando você se cadastra e confirma a sua participação no documentário dos 5% fluentes, tá? Aliás, se tiver alguém da minha equipe aqui ao vivo, manda para mim o link da página de cadastro para o documentário ou me manda a imagem do documentário dos 5% fluentes, por favor, para eu mostrar aqui pro pessoal. Manda, pode ser aqui no Zap mesmo. Quando você se cadastra e confirma a sua participação, você é inserido num grupo VIP de WhatsApp comigo e com a minha equipe, tá? E lá nesse grupo VIP, eu postei o link para você ter acesso exclusivo por 15 dias a esta recompensa, a este presente, que é este aplicativo, ok? Beleza, fechado, tá bom? E é isso. E como que eu faço para me cadastrar para o aplicativo para ter acesso aos slides, às imagens que o Felipe baixa, ao presente, a essa recompensa, às anotações. Como é que eu faço para ter acesso a tudo isso? A partir de agora, no final da aula, na descrição do YouTube, na descrição do Spotify, a minha equipe está colocando dois links. O link para você se cadastrar para o documentário dos 5% Fluentes e o link para você entrar no Telegram, aonde eu posto tudo, ok? Beleza? Fechou? Então, a partir de agora, tá? A partir de agora, a minha equipe está postando tanto no link. Acabou de chegar. Obrigado. Acabou de chegar aqui, ó. Só um minutinho que eu vou te mostrar aqui a página do cadastro. Minha equipe está postando agora na descrição do YouTube e vai postar também no Spotify o link para você entrar no Telegram e acompanhar os materiais de estudo e o link para você se cadastrar para o documentário dos 5%. Aqui, ó. Documentário dos 5% fluentes. Fechou? Deixa eu até consertar. Aí, ó. Documentário dos 5% fluentes. Beleza? Tá bom? Fechou? Fechou. Então é isso. Até a próxima aula. Se inscreve, curte a live. Aperta no link. Se cadastra para o documentário. Faz as atividades. E a gente se vê na próxima aula.